Good evening. Tens of thousands of people have taken part in processions across the UK today to mark 100 years since some women were given the right to vote. One was staged in Edinburgh to commemorate, celebrate and campaign for greater equality. Morag Kinneborough reports.
Thousands streamed through Edinburgh. Green, white and violet from Give Women Votes.
So processions has been about commemorating a landmark moment in 1918 when women got the votes, celebrating how far the journey for equalities has come and looking to the future and being visible today with thousands of women and girls from across Scotland to say women's votes matter.
They followed the footsteps of Scottish suffragettes who marched along Princes Street in 1909. Some were jailed and force-fed here in the campaign. Jessie Stephen, one who felt compelled to break the law.
She fought and she was so brave. As a maid in Glasgow, age 15, she was putting acid in pillar boxes. In later life, she rather wondered about that, and she also helped carry Emmeline Pankhurst in a laundry basket into meetings.
Every area of Scotland was represented this afternoon.
There's 5 of us here today, all the way from Shetland Isles. We travelled 400 miles to be here today to take part in the processions. We were absolutely delighted to do this, and the 400 miles seems really minuscule in regards to what the suffragettes had to go through to give us this amazing privilege and right to vote.
For the future, I hope that women and girls will be able to be treated equally, as equal as men are.
The colours of the suffrage movement are still being worn now, a century since the Act was passed, giving British women the vote for the first time. Campaigners here argue they're still fighting for equality.
Banners created around Scotland tour the country this autumn. Campaigners claim they'll keep the fight for equality at the top of the agenda. Morag Kinneborough, reporting Scotland, Edinburgh.
A house in eastern Bartonshire which was struck by lightning last night is likely to be demolished after its roof was engulfed in flames. The owner of the new build property in Lenzie says he's been left numbed by the experience. The couple and their 2 children managed to get out safely after neighbours raised the alarm. Graham Stewart reports.
Frank Malcolm was downstairs with his wife and kids last night when suddenly the television went off. But it wasn't until his neighbours rang the doorbell that he realised his roof was on fire. According to accounts in social media, a large lightning bolt hit the roof and very quickly it was engulfed by flames. Now, thankfully, nobody was injured, but you can see from the extensive damage left behind today just how fierce that fire was. Now, Mr. Malcolm, who's an architect, didn't want to speak on camera, but he told me he's been numbed by the whole experience. And although he has insurance, due to the water damage caused by putting out those flames, he pretty much reckons his house is a write-off. And the family only moved into this new build property in the last 7 months. Graham Stewart, reporting Scotland, Lenzie.
The First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, says she's writing to the Speaker of the House of Commons calling for a vote about the Scottish Parliament's rejection of the EU withdrawal bill. MPs in the House of Commons are expected to hold a final vote on the bill this week, but there's still no agreement between the Scottish and UK governments over where powers will reside after we leave the European Union.
This is quite an important issue of principle. This is not about giving the Scottish Parliament new powers or extra powers. It's simply about safeguarding the powers we already have. And there's a very important convention that's underpinned devolution for 20 years now, which is that the UK Parliament doesn't legislate in devolved areas without the consent of the Scottish Parliament.
A 20-year-old man is in a critical condition after being attacked with a large bladed weapon in Greenock town centre. He was with 3 friends in Union Street when attacked by the armed man. The suspect is described as white, in his 20s, wearing dark clothing, and ran through the church into Nelson Street after the attack. A charity founded by former Scotland rugby international Dottie Weir has made its first investment into motor neuron disease research. The 47-year-old announced his diagnosis with the disease last year to raise awareness of the degenerative condition. He pledged to devote his time to helping with research and supporting fellow sufferers. His foundation is to contribute £400,000 to help investigate gene therapy for sporadic MND. In cricket, Scotland have beaten England at the Grange in Edinburgh. Scotland batted first and set England a target of 371. It was their highest ever total for a one-day international, bolstered by 140 runs from Callum MacLeod. England started strongly with Bairstow posting 105, but were all out for 365. And now it's time for the weather forecast with Christopher. There was a bit more cloud today than there's been, Christopher.
There was a bit. Also some sunshine. Thank you very much indeed. Hello there. Good evening to you. Yes, some sunshine for some, a lot of cloud for others, and a few sharp showers once again, although not on the scale of yesterday's thunderstorms. In fact, you can see them on the combined satellite and radar, a cluster of them in the southeast. Underneath them are really torrential conditions. But through the course of the next few hours, those showers will fade away. In fact, we reached 23 degrees in the southwest today, and overnight tonight, it's the southwest that will hold on to clear skies. Elsewhere, fairly cloudy, and where the cloud is thickest, perhaps the odd spot of light rain or drizzle, particularly through parts of Highland and Grampian. Overnight lows in town around 8 to 11 Celsius. So Monday gets off to a fairly cloudy and grey start. A bit of low clouds at times, but that will lift and burn back, and the cloud itself will thin and break. There'll be an increasing amount of sunshine, but also a number of showers. You can see them down the spine of the UK, stretching towards the Pennines. South of here, largely fine and dry. Temperatures up to 24 degrees in the southeast, and a dry, fine day for Northern Ireland. For us, by mid-afternoon, the best of the sunshine will be found in the west. Further east, that cloud a little more stubborn to clear, and again, one or two showers. Looking ahead towards Tuesday, well, a fairly cloudy day across the board, certainly to start things off, but the cloud will thin and break. The chance of a few showers at times, and highs for us around 20 degrees by mid-afternoon. Now, there is change afoot as we head through towards midweek, because we start to look west with Atlantic weather systems pushing their way in. Low pressure, meaning outbreaks of rain and strengthening winds, and certainly come Wednesday night and Thursday morning, we could well be seeing gale force gusts around the northwest coast, and certainly lasting through the course of Thursday. On top of that, a turn to something a little bit cooler as well, so a quiet start to the week and then turning wet and windy. That's the forecast for now.
Thanks, Christopher. And that's all from us. We'll be back just after the 10 o'clock news. I hope to see you then. Bye for now.